Hello, welcome to In the Studio with Wendy. My name is Wendy Morris and I am a special projects designer for MemoryWorks on the creative team. This is my third year with MemoryWorks on the design team. I've been with MemoryWorks for a few years now and it just really keeps getting better and better. So I'm very excited to start this new series, a video series, so showing you some of my favorite techniques and cool trends and ideas that you can do with a lot of the MemoryWorks products. One of the first techniques that I'm going to show you today is going to be using some of our embellished butterflies, the embellished butterflies that we have with Jenny Bolin. And I've actually taken these off here. This is going to show you here some of the butterflies that we have, which I've taken them off of the board a little bit and rearranged them a little bit because I was playing around with them, but they come in several different colors, so you're going to be able to do lots of different techniques with these instead of just using them as they are. One of my favorite things that I like to use is the Ranger. We have several different products with Ranger in the new catalog and also that we've carried in the past before, but one of the favorite things that I like to use is going to be Distress Crackle Paint. This is the clear rock candy, and also we're using 3 this time. I'm also going to show you how to use the Distress Stickles, which is the clear rock candy, and the third one is going to be the Crystal Stickles, which is in the just the regular stickles. We have different colors of those as well. So these are 3 different products that all do really about 3 different things, and you may not have been aware of that. I've played around with like half of a butterfly just to see how it's going to work out. So I'm going to play around with these on tags. Probably one of the things you might like to do is playing around with them on actual paper, your scrapbook page that you're going to be doing, but I prefer to play with them on some tags because that's kind of one of my preference. Okay, we now carry the American Crafts Pigment Ink Black, which is the ink that I'm going to be stamping with to add some greetings and that kind of thing. I've got several stamps. If anybody knows my style and the stamps that I use lots of stamping, and if you go to my blog Scrap Inspire, you will find that most of my projects do have lots of stamping in them, as well as my projects on the creative team from MemoryWorks. One of my favorite stamp sets to use right now is the American Crafts Dear Lizzie stamps. Really love these. This is the Warble set, and I also love this set, which is the Whistle set, and both of these are spring themed, really cute sets. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you with the Distress Crackle Paint, the technique that I used here. First of all, I just want to tell you that with the Distress Crackle Paint, you want to allow plenty of drying time with this, because one of the things I discovered just playing around with it is it doesn't work, in my opinion, too well with just using the heat gun. Now, I prefer to just let it, if I'm going to use this product, I prefer to let it dry overnight, and that way it has time to settle and to get the full effect of what I want. So showing you here on this particular butterfly that I did use, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit closer here, that you will see that I actually did use the crackle paint, but I used the heat gun to dry it, and it just didn't really give me the effect that I would have preferred. Okay, so what I would recommend, like I said before, is actually using the drying time as preferred to allow it to dry overnight, which I think will probably give you better results than drying it with the heat gun. I do want to show you how you do the application of applying the crackle paint to your butterfly. What you're going to do with that effect is you're actually going to, now it comes with, if you've never used the crackle paints before, the rock candy is very similar to the other crackle paints that we carry. It does come in this nice little jar. When you take it out, the brush is rather thick. It's going to be very thick application when you pull out the brush. You do not want to try to rub off most of the rock candy because it is going to, you want it to go on very thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my butterfly here, one that I haven't used, which is this one. And I do also want to say be careful taking these off of the board because the little stickies sometimes wanted to come off with them. So sometimes if you feel maybe you don't have a very steady hand, you may just want to leave it on the board itself and then just apply and let it dry that way. But I'm going to take it off just so that I can show you for demonstration. And I'm just going to, like I said, leave a lot of the crackle paint on here, and I'm going to just rub it on really thick. And you're going to see that it's going to build up, but that's what you want. You want it to build up really thick. So I'm just going to continue rubbing that on here. I'm going to go around the jewels here. Don't worry so much if you do get some of the rock candy on the jewels because it is going to dry clear, so that's not a worry. If it was a colored crackle paint, you might have a little concern there, but otherwise it should be fine. And then I'm going to do the other side of the wing as well. And then to allow the drying time, just make sure you don't touch it with your fingertips. Keep it out of reach of little ones that might be curious to touch it as well. So you just kind of want to just keep applying the crackle paint on there. And like I said, do it really quite thick. You may think I've put too much on, but that's the effect that you want. So I'm going to show you here just a little bit of a close-up. There. If you can see, then you can kind of see that there's a little bit of a ridge with the way that I applied it, and that's the way that I want it. I'm going to leave it and I'm going to let it dry on my surface here, and then you will start to see the crackle effect. And I kind of like it because I think when the next day when I come back and I look at it and I say, wow, it's crackled now, so then it gives me the effect that I want a lot better than using the heat tool. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you is actually using crystal stickles. Let's try the crystal stickles, okay? And I've already done a little bit of an effect here with the crystal stickles, and this kind of happened by accident actually. I was going to just take the crystal stickles and just put it around the edge around my butterfly, but then my finger smudged it a little bit, and I decided I kind of liked the effect because it gave it more of a distressed look. So if you can see a little bit closer here, I kind of have some pieces, and then I just decided to go back and just kind of just add it in some areas, not necessarily all the way around the wing of my butterfly. And it gives it that nice distressed look. But what I want to show you then, and again with this too, if you don't have a steady hand, you may just want to leave it on your tag or on the board itself. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and stick it down here on the tag that I'm going to be applying it to. And then if you decide that you do want to go around the edge of the butterfly, that's a great option. So what you can do is you just kind of go around the edge, and it already has this narrow tube as you can see here. So you don't have to pierce it or anything. It's going to come out quite evenly well. So you just kind of go around the edge of it. As you can see here, I'm just following the edge of the butterfly. And just keep going around, and I've already done some of it just so that I could show you that effect that that happened before. So just kind of go around the jewels as well as up here. So then you see the effect of what you have. And if you want, this is one good thing, because if you do want to speed up the drying time on this, it is okay to use the heat tool. And so I do sometimes do that. A lot of times I just prefer to just set my project to the side and let it dry on its own because I'm working on several other things. But this one you can speed up the drying time and do it that way. So this gives you one other option that you can do with the butterflies, as you can see here. I went around the edge of this side, and on this side of the wing I just kind of did some parts of the edge so that you can see that you can get two different effects there with that if you like that.